All right, guys. So we are here today. Green day so far in equities. We got Powell speaking a little bit later. We'll see what he says. Let me get some music going here if we can. All right. AMC all the way down at 924s. Tesla all the way down to 229s. Low of 229.30. Just slapped the low real quick. Hold on, let's see if there's something else. We do have some earnings today. We got like AT&T that recently released. What else do we have? We got the Philly Fed index at 8:30. What's up, Timothy? I'm for real. Shadow. What's up, guys? Yeah, jobless claims Philly Fed index data 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'll put the expectations up on screen. So again, we got AT&T. Tesla released earnings yesterday, gapping down a lot. Again, the SPY is slightly green today. My guess is because we're down so much yesterday, but SPY is actually green in the entire extended hour session, which means that Netflix and other tech propped the market up relative. And luckily, I was holding Netflix too yesterday. So most of my portfolio is being propped up by Netflix right now. Luckily, I was holding a piece. Did Roblox ever move? No, not really. All right, so again, jobless claims expected at 212. Minus 6.4 is with the Philly Fed index. A little pop in Tesla, but Tesla's the big one we probably should be watching. All right, here's the data expectations. Again, you can see the SPY up some as well. What's up, Pawn? AT&T. All right, so AT&T came in at 64 cents, beat the 59 cent estimates. Third quarter postpaid subscriber net adds 550K, phone net adds 468K. It's gapping up. It's at 14s. The problem with AT&T is, again, I think I don't think it's a dying company, but I think over time its margins are going to go down. And maybe I'm wrong. Again, I always tell everybody I could be wrong. I think people get really, some people are just really emotional. And so they get like emotional about stocks where, if they disagree with like one stock, they just freaking hate me, which is just emotional. I think when we look at the long-term trend of AT&T has been downtrending since 2016. Like this is AT&T's trend really for the last 8 years. That's AT&T's trend, right? And so regardless of whether they do okay here, they've still been downtrending for almost a decade. And again, I think what I've been saying makes a lot of sense in that AT&T specifically I'm not saying the business is obsolete. I'm saying long-term contracts for phone carriers is going to become less prevalent over time. And maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, yesterday with the Cybertruck news, again, Tesla came in worse than expected on almost everything, except they said the Cybertruck deliveries are on track for later this year. The problem is that about 20 minutes into the earnings call, or about 20 seconds into the earnings call, Elon basically comes out and says that the Cybertruck is not going to be a good margin vehicle for years, and that it's not going to help their bottom line for years. I appreciate the honesty, but yeah, still a little sketch, and not really the best thing to lead the earnings call with. All right, guys. Yeah, looking on Twitter right now. We got Powell, Big Papa, speaking later on today. Oh, dude. The internet's hilarious. Yeah, Powell, Big Papa Powell today. Hey, we'll see if we get anything good. Again, AT&T out with their numbers. American Airlines scheduled to drop theirs 5 minutes ago. Let's see if they came out with anything good for American Airlines. American Airlines beat estimates, sales missed, so revenue missed. We'll put this number up on screen to just show you airlines. Tesla's still going down. How long before it catches a run up from the lows? I have no idea. Again, I'm in Tesla right now, but I'm also in Netflix, and so I'm up like almost 300 on Netflix. On Tesla, I am down No, I'm not even down that much on Tesla. I am down $65. Could be worse. So I'm actually, that's why I'm green today so far in equities. Um, Netflix, I am holding like 5 shares, but Netflix just had a much bigger range. And I did take some profit in Netflix, is what it was too. So like I was in larger size prior to today, and then we scaled out some yesterday after the crazy run up. The market that actually buys big trucks are limited. How do you zoom using your mouse in Quant Tower? I don't know. I'd have to pull it up. I mean, it depends. It depends on where you are. One, so it truly depends on where you are, brother. Like I'm in Texas. I'm not from Texas. I'm from Louisiana, but I'm in Texas. There's a lot of big trucks here, bro. Like I pull up to jujitsu, dude, and like everybody's in a big truck, and I'm in like an SUV, and I feel like even driving like and ironically, like not ironically, I guess, but we have a truck too. It's not really we have a like I'm not gonna say what kind it is, but we have a regular sized truck as well, right? So we have a truck and SUV. But I got a jujitsu, dude, and it's nothing but big trucks, which I guess is fitting. But yeah, AT&T long-term downward trend, man. It's been on a downtrend for like 8 years now. You know, you can see Tesla cracking down again. Tesla down at 227s, 226s. Again, we get big pop of Powell today. What's going on, really? Look, yeah. It's hard for me to not be, never mind. Internet's crazy, man. Internet's crazy. Again, we got Powell today at noon. right, so again, weird day. Okay, so the Cybertruck delivery date is officially November 30th. Yeah, so this is gonna be huge in headlines, for the next year. I'm guessing. We don't have a price yet. I'm curious about what the price is going to be. What do you guys think the price is going to be? And Tesla's not liking it. Again, I might buy this dip, to be honest, a little bit more. Like, Tesla's down a lot. And again, I don't have huge size, but I could add some small size. This is a big dip, right? That's a big pullback here. We're at 226s, so like, I'm going to add a little bit here, fix my average. My average really isn't that bad relative to where we are now. There we go. So I got a 231 average right now. So my average is like right here. It's higher, but man, Tesla's just down so much. I think it might be time to buy this dip. I might add a little bit more too. Let me go ahead and do that. All right, so decent little average here. I don't think it's a bad average. All right, team. We added some to Tesla on the dip. We were pretty flat on our trade. So, like, if I wanted a camera for videos, guys, so if I wanted to record a video, what's the best foot? Okay, I'm a Samsung guy, right? And what I notice is that my photo camera is really good. Like, it's really solid. I haven't actually tried the. I've never actually tried the video camera super well, but do y'all think it'd be a good idea to like Morgan Stanley guy saying 180? You're supposed to wait for me to crash. Yeah, I mean, Tesla's falling. Luckily, we're down less than $100. All right, so we're cracking lows again at 225. Tesla not trading in the mid 225s. It'll eventually stop. Yeah, and again, that's where I'm kind of adding to it here. Like we're not in a big position though. I'm in like 20 shares. You know, we have to be prepared for it to drop to potentially 200, I think, as well. You know, and if it drops to 200, you know, we're going to be down like $500. So it's not really going to be like the biggest L in the world. Hey, what's up, Andre? Tesla's such a FOMO stock, both upside and down. Next rally will break highs, but it might be a couple months. Yeah, the Cybertruck goes live November 30th, right? So I'm gonna front load into that. Is probably what I'm gonna do, and my plan is just to hold it. My plan is just to hold it through that. You know, and next week we got some stuff going live too. I mean, number one, we got like big earnings every day next week. So aside from big earnings every day next week, right? And this is like Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, like just a lot of big earnings next week. Aside from those earnings, right, which is next week, we're gonna have economic reports, manufacturing and services PMI on Tuesday. Wednesday we got building permits, Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Thursday we're gonna have GDP and durable goods. Friday we're gonna have PCE data, I believe. Yeah, so we got a gang of data releases coming out too. Very busy couple weeks. Hey, what's up, Dwayne? 225 didn't hold. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm Tesla can drop to 200 and I'm still gonna be sitting in it. You know what I mean? Like I just recently started adding. My average price is 229. So like I'm in a pretty good position here. And I think with the range of, like, if you want to see it, look, my average price is 229.80s, right? So we're down just now $100. So it's not the end of the world. And again, I could add some more to it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I think that we have time. And I think the Cybertruck comes out November 30th. Again, I think that's gonna influence it really positively. But maybe not. You know, again, I will say this, right? What I will say is, like, I think Elon's being honest about the Cybertruck troubles. And, you know, I might start changing my previous assessment of it. You know, I think for him to come out and say that first thing about regarding Cybertruck margins, I think that's not good. You know, I think that's not good. I think Elon's worried about the Cybertruck is what I think. I think that's what it sounds like to me, is that he's worried. You know, and again, I'm going to be real with you guys. And again, that kind of goes against what I thought previously. Of course, I'm never right about everything. I'm definitely top 3 ever. But, Elon sounds worried. And so it sounds like they're worried specifically about losing money on the Cybertruck. Like, it's been this big thing catching the headlines for years. And I think they're worried that it's not gonna bring them net profit. You know, their margins aren't good. And that's the first thing he said yesterday. So, you know, we'll see what happens. All right, starting in January, the EV tax credit between $3,750 and $7,500 comes off as the MSRP at the point of sale, should boost sales. Yeah. Q calls might be the safest play for next week. Yeah, I mean, we're down a lot. Beauty of shares is there's no time restraint. You can hold and relax 100%. That's why I just hate options, dude. I mean, how many people ordered it doesn't the cost of it is important, but how many people order it is going to be the influence. Again, the other influence is the individual margin per sale, right? Like how much they make per sale in the Cybertruck, which we don't know yet. That'll be interesting to watch. Again, we're still green on the day. People acting like it's just the end of the world, but like we're green on the day. We're up about $124.57 right now. So we'll see what happens. AT&T bounced it up a little bit, but again, AT&T's been in just a long-term downtrend for 8 years straight, and so gap it up to $14 is not, the greatest thing, because again, we've been talking about this for months, and again, I think our thesis is rang true. Most of this year, when a lot of stuff is up, AT&T has had a really rough year down. So we'll see what happens with AT&T. Again, it's not a company I'm necessarily investing in. I know they pay out high divvies, but again, I'm still skeptical. Netflix really what's propping the market up, and we are holding Netflix as well, and it's definitely helping us. We took a little bit of profit yesterday, but we're still holding a piece of it, and we're green, about $224 on the day on Netflix. So it's definitely compensating for the Tesla trade. And again, we had very small share size during Tesla earnings, and recently added a little bit to it only just now. So again, if we could keep dropping here, it doesn't really matter that much. We're going to wait, and hopefully we get some good momentum. But regardless, the share size isn't crazy big, and so we should be fine regardless. Elon and Mark Cuban filed joint amicus brief at the Supreme Court ruling for an overhaul of the SEC's proceedings. Where are bonds at this morning? Bonds still at 4.9%. They haven't really opened yet today, but still around 4.9. Here, I'm going to put a timer up as well. Again, chat, would you guys do which chart do you guys prefer here? This is actually pretty close to right. Yeah, we'll leave that. What chart do you guys prefer? Would you guys rather the zoomed out version where you can kind of see me and like look at each chart and it's fully zoomed out, or would you guys rather the zoomed in version right here where you can see things a little bit more clearly? One or two. One is the previous one. Two is the zoomed in one where you can see things more clearly right here. All right, so again, here's zoomed in. Or would you prefer zoomed out? 2, 1. Elon tanked the market yesterday. His earnings call was terrible. I hope the market recovers. Yeah, I mean, Helena, just to give you, some perspective here with everything, okay? The market's flat, completely flat in pre-market, right? So the market is neutral relative to the Tesla earnings call. The market is not down some super heavy amount from Tesla earnings. Tesla earnings came out here, right? So like, think about it like this. Tesla earnings dropped here, and we are here. So the market's pretty neutral relative to Tesla earnings. And again, the reason we are neutral versus like down crazy amounts is Netflix. Netflix came in much better than expected. They're pushing up almost to $400 a share. So I guess the point is like the market's not down a whole bunch. From the market was red yesterday for sure, but Tesla earnings weren't out until yesterday evening, and then relative to that, we're flat. Well, Disney and Netflix are probably competitive with each other, is my guess. Netflix streaming service, Disney streaming service, and so I'm pretty sure they're probably competitive. So it looks like most people want what we're at right now. Bouncing up a little bit on Tesla. Netflix still over that 392 level. Top 3 fastest typing skills in the world right now, for sure. Definitely top 3. Oh yeah, Tesla's definitely down a lot. I'm not arguing Tesla's not down. Obviously, I mean that's not really arguable. Tesla's down big. You know. Luckily though, we were green on Tesla prior, and we only had a very small share size. And so again, we're down less than $100 on Tesla. Like, look, we're down $86 on the trade. So again, it could be a lot worse. But yeah, Tesla's down a lot. But again, the market is looking at both Tesla and Netflix, and Netflix had really good earnings. So one was really bad, one was really good. And just to understand how the market moves, in that the market is pretty flat today. So one was good, one was bad, and with both of those, we're pretty flat on the day so far. Doesn't mean we're going to stay flat, but right now the market's flat. Still in Disney too. I mean, again, we're green on the day in equities. Green on Microsoft, green on MGM, green on Disney, green on AMC, green on PayPal, and then green on Walgreens. I need Netflix under 410 by noon tomorrow. I want to make some calendar spreads to make some money. You think Netflix is going to 400? I'm not sure. I think it'll depend on a lot of stuff we got going on today. Again, specifically today, we got Powell. We got jobless claims. We got Philly Fed index. We got some earnings releases, specifically American Airline, Bank, Blackstone, Nokia, all out. Nothing else really big, though, but AT&T, American Airline, Blackstone, Nokia, Key Corp, all released today. Tesla's starting to bounce. Again, we can look at like the Q as well here. Here's the NASDAQ. We're at 363.60s. No, Oleg, I don't own any. Yeah, American Airlines, we can look at this. I think they had mixed results. They beat EPS, missed sales, I think, but I'm not 100%. Let me look. All right, yeah, American Airlines, better than expected EPS, missed sales. I'll put this number up in chat if you want to check it out. Right, exactly. Great American. That's exactly what happens, dude. I see it all the time, bro. Like, again, when what generally happens is when the market moves up, people cry manipulation. When the market goes down, people say it's the end of the world. You know, and that's just kind of the nature of the market. That's pretty consistent, I would say, from a lot of people I see. Not just one specific person, just a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, the 10-year yield's still pretty high. If you look at like TNX, I mean, it's not open yet today, but it's at 4.9% where it closed. I mean, I can look at it elsewhere. TNX isn't open yet, but you can look at 10-year yields right now. Yeah, I mean, 10-year yields right now at 4.975%. So pretty high still for 10-year yields, 4.975%. they open up at 8:30. So this will open up at 8:30. So we still got a couple hours. We still got an hour, I mean. We still got like 50 minutes. But yeah, yields are basically at 5%, which is crazy. Yeah, I got a little bit of PayPal. It's not huge. I mean, I hold a little bit of a lot of different things. We're up on PayPal in the day, but we're down on the trade total. Not a huge trade though. Netflix still rising. Yeah, Netflix just cracked highs. Again, we're still sitting on a piece. United Airlines got smacked the other day. Yeah, didn't it release earnings? Gap down pretty heavy. I like United Airlines as an airline stock though, but the trend on a year is pretty rough. Might be time to buy the dip though. It's down a lot. I remember calling United Airlines out at $25 a share. I remember after 2020. So after 2020, man, this one dipped all the way to like $20 a share. And I remember I made a video. Saying, "Hey, I'm buying United Airlines right here." Like, I actually can give you guys the video. Like, look, I can find the video, right? And so you can go back, and it's crazy because it's like you can see people went back and deleted their comments. You know, like people literally went back. Like, I had so many hateful comments on this. You know, it really is crazy. So like and this is what I always try to tell people is like people are unnecessarily bearish a lot of the time. I'm bearish sometimes too, but like you have to look at individual companies and understand, like when you look at United Airlines, the logic I had at the time. So after 2020, like let me just show you guys this trade. So after 2020, we had this big major drop because I think y'all could probably learn some from this type of mentality, right? So after 2020, you know, the 2020 market crash, we had this huge drop. Everybody was skeptical of airlines. You know, we had this monstrous drop to like $15. You know, this huge drop. My logic at the time was that airlines were a necessity. Like people don't want to fly, they need to fly. Like people have to travel, they need to fly, right? And so in that regard, this is an overreaction. I said, hey, this is an overreaction. People need to fly right now. You know, and the market had dropped heavily. You know, American Airlines had dropped 80%. You know, from $80 or from $100 basically down to 20. You know, it dropped 80%. And so my logic at the time was this thing's down 80%. It's it's United Airlines. It's going to be okay long term, and it's a necessity for business. Like people need to fly. It's not about wanting to, it's they need to fly. And so I didn't mind buying the dip and just sitting on it. You know, I thought it was overextended, emotional, and I think it was an emotional reaction. Dude, what is up with my freaking headline or my earphones? Yeah. Like, bro, dude, what is up with my dude? Like every now and then, on my computer, like for whatever reason, like I don't know if it's Bluetooth or what it is, but every now and then my AirPods will just go out. They'll just disconnect. And they'll come back like this. Like now they're back. But anyways, so I bought the dip and I made a video about it on like another channel that Mitch, that Money Mitch and I had. Like Money Mitch with you know, when he used to work with me a lot. And so I made a video like, hey, I'm buying United Airlines here. You know, I'm buying United Airlines at $20. And again, the same thing happened then. Oh no, bro, that's a garbage pick. They would leave me comments. Like they left all these different comments saying, this is a garbage pick, bro. These picks suck. Like this is a garbage pick. Like you're not gonna do anything with that pick. That the market's gonna crash, bro. You know, is what they would say. They put all this like mocking comments out. And again, you can kind of see within yeah, like within what is this? within 5 months, United Airlines was up like what 400%. 400% in 5 months. And then they literally went back and deleted the comments, right? Like they didn't want me bringing it up. So they literally go back. If I look at that video now, which I can even show you guys, I'm not going to give you the actual video, but what I can show you is I'll show you the video. I'm not going to give you the link, but I'll show you the actual video about it. And again, I made the video, and if I go back and I look at the comments, they all deleted it. Like they all deleted the comments talking smack. Yeah. So it's interesting, but yeah, so look, you can kind of see the name of the video was why I'm buying United Airlines, why I'm buying UAL right here. And again, right here was right here. And again, I think people get so rigid in like betting against stocks that it just, it can get them in trouble in terms of, yeah, so there's the old video. All right, so the music might be out. Let me fix this. Yeah, jobless claims coming out. Why didn't you buy American Airlines with your same thesis? American Airlines is currently the same price as it was in March of 2020. UAL did a little better. Yeah, 100%. It's jealousy is really what it is. Like, jealousy is a powerful thing, bro. And again, they justify it in other ways in their head, like, oh, but like it's really just mostly that, man. And it's all good, but being on the internet's weird. All right, guys, we got 50 minutes. But the overarching point I was trying to make is now United Airlines is starting to dip down a little bit. The reason I didn't buy American Airlines is because I don't trust American Airlines as much as I trust United. I think United is the more ingrained airline company. And so while there might be deeper extension, with American Airlines and stuff like that, I like United more just in terms of, and maybe it's biased because I usually use United, right? But I like United Airlines more. Bro, why do these headphones suck, dude? I gotta stop using AirPods, bro. Like they just get all messed up constantly, dude. It's not a huge it's not a huge dip, but I bought some. T Powell, Jerome. Maybe ramen. John, the dollar index is going down with equities. It's moving with markets. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, what you learn very quickly on the internet is that people are emotional. Like people are so like, if you don't agree with somebody about everything, some people just can't get out of their head about it. They just get weird, You wonder how their relationships with people are based off of that too, because everybody disagrees on stuff sometimes. One of the things I always tell my daughter is like, if you ever want credibility, you have to admit you're wrong. If you never admit you're wrong, you have no credibility. Like you're just, as well as you have to be okay with people disagreeing with you and understanding like a certain level of subjectivity, like opinion-based things. As long as my daughter likes to debate, and so I tell her those two things. You want credibility, you got to admit you're wrong, and you have to understand there's a subjective nature to certain things, and you don't want to get too rigid and upset and mad if somebody disagrees about a subjective thing. With that said, though, American Airlines is pushing up a lot. I mean, it's up to 1150s. Again, I just don't trust it right now. It's not as ingrained as an airline company for me. Exxon? I don't know. I think oil's ripping up because of the stuff going on overseas. But Exxon's down a little bit today, but it's not down a huge amount. We're in Exxon too. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to be, whether he's going to be hawkish or dovish. Let me do a poll here. Again, Powell speaks today. First, we're going to do jobless claims, I guess. All right, so we asked people, would jobless claims come in high or low? You can see the SPY sitting right around 430s. Pretty flat, pretty neutral. Yeah, I don't think it matters whether they're male or female, TJ. I think kids in general don't like admitting they're wrong. Nothing bothers somebody that wants to argue more than being able to say, hey, maybe you're right. I don't know. We can agree to disagree, so forth and so on. Like saying stuff like that. Nobody, if they really want to argue, that's like their kryptonite. And so I say it as much as I can. Tesla earnings were exactly as the last one. Bad news. Yeah. I mean, again, Elon coming out saying he's skeptical about Cybertruck margins at the very first minute or two of the conference call is a pretty rough thing, man. It ended up tanking Tesla stock. A lot of people were like, yeah, Cybertruck. And then when he said that in the first 30 seconds, they're like, oh no. Tesla broke my portfolio twice this year. Not a coincidence. You can have 10 catalysts that make such bad earning calls that it drops 30%. Yeah, maybe. All right. Will not be surprised when hedge funds shorting to buy Tesla. Yeah, I think Tesla's in an interesting position too, because Bill Gates does not like Tesla at all, right? And he's got influence too, and so it's interesting to see what happens. American Airline cracking highs again. Again, Tesla down pretty big too on the day. It's still at 225.30s. All right, looking at these poll numbers here, we did a poll. Again, slap the like button if you can. 47% say low, 43% say high, 10% say I don't know. What do you teach? In what context, Ethan? Do you mean what do I teach in stocks? What do I teach my kids? Like what, based off of the previous conversation we were having, I'm trying to figure out what context you mean that under. Yeah, but that's what all earnings calls do. Most earnings call are trying to make bad stuff sound good. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have they have a fiduciary obligation to report every news release, regardless of whether it's good or bad, right? Like these CEOs have a fiduciary duty, right? If you don't know what fiduciary means, it means looking out in the shareholders' best interest at all times, right? So he has a fiduciary duty that he is, obliged to follow through with, and with that he has to report on this, right? He has to report on it. Now, I think he could have done it in a different way. I would have much preferred him to debut the Cybertruck date, all that stuff, and then say at the very end of the stream, hey, you know, our margins might not be the best for the Cybertruck. I think that would have been a smarter way to still get the news out there, but with less of a negative impact. But I also think that Tesla I think Elon probably doesn't care that much about short-term fluctuations in price. That's my guess. I think he probably doesn't care that much about short-term fluctuations. But maybe he does. I'm not sure. Yeah, I see these videos about gambling addicts online. And again, a lot of the times I'll say this, and like you could tell who's like addicted to gambling in the chat, because some of them just get really upset that I say this, right? But look, I understand being addicted to. There's certain types. Like, okay, I love poker. I wouldn't say I'm addicted to poker, but I certainly enjoy playing it. But like, if poker didn't have any like statistical edge for good players, I would never play it ever. Like, I don't ever play blackjack for fun, right? Like, I never play blackjack for fun. I never go to the casino aside from playing poker. You know what I mean? And so, unless there's a statistical proven edge for good players, I'm not about to do it, you know? And so I guess I just don't understand. And maybe it's like, listen, I'm not hating on anybody. Like, I understand people struggle with different things and addictions, and I get that completely. No judgment here. But like, getting addicted to like slots seems like think about it. Slots have a terrible edge. Like, what's the purpose? Like, it seems like they're addicted to losing money for whatever reason. And I think that would be a hard addiction for me to ever fall into, because I hate losing money. You know, I don't get a rush from losing money. You know, in fact, I hate it. I hate it so much I don't even play poker a lot, because even though I can make money in poker, when I lose when I shouldn't, like if I have the best hand and lose, which happens, you know, you might have pocket aces pre-flop and then just get busted going all in with 2-7 offsuit when they hit 2-2s, or when they hit trips on the river or whatever it is, right? And I hate that, you know, I hate losing. But you know, let me know what you guys think. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I mean, I think it is what it is. Oh yeah, well, this is definitely a skill-based gambling thing for sure. Asking the other commenter. Okay, gotcha. It's impossible to announce Cybertruck delivery and dump the stock at the same time. Okay, Ethan was asking you. Okay. Roulette's unless you're trying to use some variation of the martingale roulette strategy, roulette is basically you know, a coin flip, random, you know, no edge game. But even with the martingale, they're not going to let you use it effectively. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to let you use the martingale roulette strategy effectively. All right, we had PM Philip Morris numbers coming out. All right, guys. So when is the spot Bitcoin ETF going to get approved? I'm not sure. Bitcoin up to 28.5K. All right, guys. So GMB won't be worth anything until those strikes stop. Yeah, I mean, the UAW strikes, they thought they would be done by now, so it's surprising that they're not. Again, we still got 35, 40 minutes until the durable good order jobless claims numbers come out. Tesla dipping down. I mean, it bounced all the way back up to 226s, so it's doing all right, but I'm looking at earnings next week, man. Yeah, next week's big. AMD gap it up a little bit as well, but when we start to look at earnings specifically here, tomorrow we got like this evening we got Western Alliance, some other ones. MX is tomorrow morning. Comerica regions, all tomorrow morning. And again, I'm kind of looking at some of these here. We're going to start Monday of next week with Royal Phillips, a couple other ones. Nothing really Monday evening, though. So Monday will be a quieter day. Tuesday, we got Coca-Cola, Verizon, GE, RTX, 3M, Spotify, NextEra, Halliburton, Danaher Corp, Dow, GM, and more, Polaris. Followed by Tuesday evening, which is when the big boys start. Tuesday evening, we got Microsoft, Google, Snapchat, Visa, Teladoc, Boyd, a bunch of other ones, right? And again, that's next Tuesday, followed by Wednesday morning with Boeing, T-Mobile, Thermo Fisher, Hilton. And then Wednesday evening, we got Meta, IBM. And again, we're going to stream Meta. We're going to stream probably, we're going to stream Meta. We're going to stream Microsoft earnings, like the full earnings call. We're going to stream the other ones too, but Meta Wednesday. Thursday next week, we're going to have Amazon. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, we're going to be basically super busy. We're going to be streaming. We're also going to have PCE data dropping Friday. We're going to have GDP and jobless claims dropping next Thursday as well. And these are all going to be big influences over the market. And then we got Exxon next Friday too. Starting that off, like again, the week after that, starting October 30th, we got SoFi in the morning, McDonald's. We got nothing else really Monday. Monday is not really the biggest day for earnings, but the week after that, we got Pfizer in the morning, AMD in the evening, Tuesday. Well, let's buy some mornings. PayPal, Roku, Supermicro, Airbnb. Definitely a little bit slower week. We got Palantir earnings Thursday morning. Thursday evening, we got Apple. The week afterwards, November 2nd. And again, this is just busy stuff, man. Busy stuff. Again, Tesla at 226 is here. So Tesla's starting to rise back up. So is the B Monday anniversary this upcoming Monday. Another business that isn't taxed enough. Casinos out here spending millions to fly in customers and give them free suites. I mean, I don't understand. It's bad. Like casinos pay a lot of taxes, brother. Like the reason they're flying customers in and giving them free suites is because it's going to be a net profit for them to do so, right? Like if you've got a billionaire whale, you can fly him into your casino and he's probably going to blow a couple mil, at your casino, unless he gets lucky. And so they understand they can comp him $1,000 room. They can, give him they can give them basically what the casinos are trying to do is they're trying to get them to stay, right? They want them to stay. They want them to stay at the casino. They don't want them to leave. If they leave, they lose money, right? So they want those whales to stay as long as they can. And so they're going to give them whatever they need. Oh, you want a suite? Great. You know, you want a girl? Great. You want free drinks? Great. You know, and they're definitely giving them free drinks. But again, it's a transactional thing. Like they're doing so understanding that those millionaires are going to spend money at their casino, brother. Like that's what they're going to do. Watch the movie Casino, right? Watch the movie Casino. Good movie. It's got Robert De Niro in it. If you win too much in a casino, they can, if they like. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, here's the reality of it, right? So I see some talks about blackjack. And again, I actually have a lot of experience. I know how to card count and everything. What you have to understand is Andre specifically says you only get banned if you get caught cheating. That's not true. Okay, so like card counting is not cheating, and it's legal to do so in most states, right? Like in most states, you're allowed to count cards. But, right, you're allowed to count cards, and they can't actually, in most states, they can't actually make a rule against it because, like, you're just using the information that you have to make educated decisions based on probabilities, right? Instead of just blindly betting, you know, you're just using information that you already have. If you look at the whole cards, card counting is very simple. It's basically counting high cards, right, and putting in more money whenever there's been more low cards that have been put out. Because whenever there's more low cards that have been put out recently in blackjack, the probability of getting high cards in the following hands goes up dramatically, right? And so all card counting is doing is taking account of how many low cards have been put out there. And when there's an edge, meaning there's been a lot of low cards recently and no high cards, it's very probable that a high card is going to come out next, putting your money in then. Right, that's what card counting is. So it's really just kind of looking at the cards that come out. There's not really any way to stop it. But the problem is that casinos frown upon it, right? It's technically not cheating. It's technically not illegal. But the way casinos will know you're doing it is by variance in bet sizing, right? So if you bet $5, bet $5, bet $5, bet $5, and this is just an easy example. Most of the time it's more than this, but you bet 5, you bet 5, you bet 5, and then all of a sudden when the count is high, you bet 1,000 or you bet 100. The casinos are going to see that variance in bet sizing, and they're going to say, okay, he's counting cards, and you're not going to get in trouble for it. They might be mad at you, but they're going to do what's called a back off. Is what they do. So it's called a back off, right? They'll back you off is what it is. Sometimes they'll trespass you, meaning like you can't come back. So because they can refuse action to anybody, right? So like, and they will, like, they're not going to let you count cards at their casino, like easily. And so they're going to kick you out. And, you know, again, you're not going to get arrested. Like, you're not going to get in trouble for it necessarily, but they're going to stop you from doing it. They're not going to let you do it. What they'll do is they'll call you an advantage player. They'll say, hey, we recognize you as an advantage player, and we just don't want your action, you know, and then they'll be nice. They'll cash you out. They have to cash you out. So if you've made money, they have to pay you, but they're not going to let you come back. So Raphael said, beginner trading, do you know why the market is doing down so much? Do you think the market will bounce? Just a question. If you do not know, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, what do you mean down so much? Like, okay, look, I'm going to put up a yearly chart. Okay, so here's a yearly chart, right? And for whatever reason, it's not letting me zoom out throughout the year. That's weird. Oh, it's a 4-hour chart. Sorry. So here's a yearly chart. So, I mean, like, I guess what I'm trying to say, Raphael, is that it's all relative. I think one thing I see from you a lot of the time, brother, and again, I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say with, like, look, I'm not hating on you, man. Like, I'm not hating on you. I'm trying to help you here. Okay. The market is not really down that much. You know, I think what I see you do a lot of the time is you overanalyze short-term movement. You know, like, again, here's the yearly trend. Like, this is the market over the last 52 weeks, like the last year, right? That's a pretty nice upward trend. The market's actually really solid over the last year, right? Like, this is the trend. It's very clear. Look, you can see the trend line here. You can see the trend line here. We've been in this trend all year, and the market has been doing pretty well over the last 52 weeks. It's not down a lot. Like, the market is not just going to go straight up forever, brother. Like, the market's not just going to go like that. Like, that's not a reasonable expectation of it. Like, if you're going to invest or trade, like, you got to understand sometimes the market's going to go up or down, but you got to zoom out. There's a very common, famous quote, and it's called, "When in doubt, zoom out." Because if you look at the market short term, and especially if you pay attention to news, you might say, "Oh no, the market is just terrible. The market's crashing." The market's not anywhere close to crashing. Like, a crash would be this. Okay, so like, look, we're at 430s right now. A crash would look like this, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we're not anywhere close to that. And so we might be down over the last month, but the market's not going to go straight up, and the market still is very green over the last year straight. And so number one, a couple things, dude. Number one, if you're this upset about the market dropping short term, you're probably trading too large, brother. Like, if you're trading really large to where the last couple weeks of red action has caused you to be really upset and really, emotional, you're probably trading too large, man. You want to trade a size in which you're okay, especially if you're investing. Like, if you're investing, dude, this shouldn't bother you at all, in my opinion, right? Like, if you're investing money, this should be relatively insignificant to you. And so if it's not, and you're trying to invest, you're probably trading too large, bro. If you're trying to short-term trade, that's a different story. But again, you got to understand the market is it down over the last month or two? Sure. But it's still very green on the year, and it's not going to go up. It's not going to go straight up. And so I hope you understand. And again, it's all love here, bro. I hope you understand. Just trying to help. I don't know. I think the market could bounce. I think the market's been in this pretty obvious trend. And I think we called the last bounce at about 420, but you never know for sure. I think we're still in this trend right now. We're still in the long-term upward trend, but short-term, anything could happen. And if we break the bottom of the trend line, again, anything could happen. Yeah, that's basically it, Bad. They'll say, "You're winning. We don't want your action." A lot of the times they'll be nice. Some of them won't. And again, I've been backed off before. It's not necessarily fun. Some of them just get weird, dude. But again, card counting is like, it has this mystifying, like, look about it, but it's really easy. You don't really have to be that good at math to do it either. And so. But it's also not really easy to find action because it's a probabilities game. And so in that regard, like, you got to get a lot of reps in. You got to get a lot of volume to let the edge play out, because the edge is small, right? The edge is small. And so you got to get a lot of hands in to let the edge play out, and that's not necessarily easy because casinos will specifically watch for variance in bet sizing. Like, that's how they know you're counting. They'll watch for variance in bet sizing. So if you bet $5, $5, and then all of a sudden you bet $100 and win, and then move back down to $5 and bet $5 and $5, and then repeat that for a couple times, usually they're going to recognize it and back you off. They're going to make sure you don't play anymore. So actually getting the edge from card counting is much harder nowadays because casinos just don't allow you to do it as easily. But it's not illegal. Anyways, American Airlines still up there. Tesla still consolidating flat here. We do have jobless claims numbers dropping sometime soon. When fear runs high, time to buy. I am trading large to get back my money, bro. Yeah, but that seems like a recipe for failure, brother. No offense, man. Like, the problem with a lot of traders is that they try to win back their losses, and then they lose more, and then they scale up more, and then they try to win back the other losses, and then they lose more, and then they have to scale up more until they're trading so large they're risking their account in each trade. And if they're not exactly right about the direction of the market, then they lose their account, man. And again, you don't want to fall into that trap. That's an emotional trap, brother. It's an emotional trap. Again, there's nothing wrong with trading small, and you should winning back money in the market. Again, in the end, just that mentality of, hey, I have to make my money back. I got to trade large and make my money back. That's a recipe for failure, brother. good luck. I hope you make your money back. But again, understand that seems really risky to me, man. And it seems like what happens to a lot of new traders that get stuck in that, hey, I lost, I got to win it back. Like, again, most traders lose because they have big drawdowns, right? The reason they have big drawdowns is because they'll lose a small amount, right? And they won't be able to accept the loss. They won't be able to cut a loss. They won't be able to accept the loss, and they'll keep swinging. And then they'll take a larger loss. And then they say, oh, well, I'm down $100 now. Let me win it back. And they'll double their size. And then they'll take a larger loss. And then they double their size again. And then they take a larger loss to the point where they're like, oh, I'm down so much. I just got to YOLO my account. I just got to swing for the fences and just take crazy big size because I'm down so much already. And then it snowballs until they just destroy their entire account, right? You want to make sure you're not falling into that trap because, again, some years are going to be red, some years are going to be green, and that's part of trading, part of life, Is the music too loud, guys? Let me know. Is the music too loud? I mean, I can turn it down some, but all good. If the casino manager ever offers you a bottle of champagne in a private room, run. Yeah, watch the movie Casino. Yeah, but Casino, they weren't really doing card counting. I mean, they were counting cards, but they were doing it. Like if you're individually counting cards, it's one thing, right? If you're doing it as a team, that's a completely different thing. As well as that was when they were ran by the mob, Yeah, well, crypto, you definitely don't want to do it, American show. Crypto, there's crypto, the risks of that are even higher, so good luck, dude. Right, exactly, Dwayne. Hey, what's up, Raphael? Great advice. Thanks, John. It's easy to fall into that trap with crypto trading. 100%. It's easy to fall in that trap with trading in general. And again, I know this because I've done it, right? I'm not acting self-righteous or better than anybody. I know it because I've done it. I've been there. I've done this before a lot. And so it is what it is. Like, it happens. It's normal. It's part of trading, man. It really is. Like, and the good traders get really good at cutting their losses, accepting losing trades, and trading small. I'm the type of person where I'm like, okay, well, I can trade small in a bunch of different trades than trade like diversification is a powerful thing. And that is true and consistent with most things in life, right? Like diversifying is probably the right move, right? If you have the option of diversifying or swinging big on one thing, diversifying is probably the right move, right? Especially in stock trading and investing. So you can either swing really, really big in one trade, or you can take a base hit in multiple and let the if you do have an edge, let that play out over more than one trade, because variance is real, man. Variance happens. Variance is absolutely a thing. I come from poker though. Like, I'm a poker player, so like I understand variance a lot. Like variance in poker, you might have pocket aces and loose, 3-4 offsuit might beat me with pocket aces. So variance is a thing, but the more you diversify, the more you let volume play out, the more you zoom out. If you have an edge in poker, you're probably going to make money long term, right? Same thing in trading. Any individual trade, you might get unlucky and lose, even though you did everything right. But if you get enough reps in and you trade small enough to where each individual trade's not risking your account, if you're a good trader over time, that should play out. Yeah, Mark Douglas. Yeah, 21. It's a good movie there about the MIT team. A little sensationalized, but still good nonetheless. Yeah, I think the problem is people want to get rich, right? I think people want to get rich in the stock market, and I think part of that is marketing and people selling courses and doing all these other things, right? So I think people go into it like, "Hey, I'm going to get rich," and that's the mistake, is that they're trying to get rich instead of small base hits. Yeah, what's up, Rays? Hey, nice, man. What school? It's bad. Well, that's a recipe for failure, Artem. Yeah. Yeah, Dana White got banned. I don't even know if Dana White says he doesn't count cards, right? Dana White says he uses a variation of the of like normal, like effective BJ strategy. He says he doesn't count cards, but he still got backed off by a casino, right? So it doesn't really have to, like, if you win too much, the casinos are going to say, yo, we don't want your action. Now, luckily for card counters and anybody else, like, there's thousands of casinos that you can go to. But, you know, what was I just about to say? Hey, slap the like button, guys. We got 99 likes here, 99 likes. We still got about 17 minutes until the market drops these numbers. Yeah, where's Nvidia at right now? If we look at Nvidia again, Tesla moving back up, tapping the VWAP right here. You get Nvidia up on the day, still down yesterday though, but not too much down. Nvidia at 425, 426 is roughly. So Nvidia's not doing too bad. Yeah, TSM beat KC. Here's the numbers right there for TSM. They came in better than expected for both sales and rev. They're gapping up pretty nicely from it too. I just don't know much about them, but again, Tesla right under the volume weighted average price. We'll see if that level holds. All right, so 227 starting to head up against SPY at 430s. All right, guys. So again, we also have Powell speaking today, guys. So remember, we do have Powell speaking. We still got 12, 13 minutes left. American Airlines still been running up really nicely too. Yeah, guys. So again, we still got a couple minutes left. Look at Tesla reject that 227s level. Although Tesla has bounced back a little bit today, it's still down, but you know, it's trying. All right, team. All right, so we still got a little bit of time here, guys. A little bit of time. All right, so we're rejecting a little bit. SPY back over 430s here, guys. Over 430s. All stocks will bounce today. The future shorts are de-risking. 10-year almost at 5%. Yeah, 10-year is at like 4.95% the last time I looked at it. So yeah, the 10-year right now 4.96% actually. Yeah, 4.964%. So crazy. You know, honestly, the 10-year hit 4.98%, so it's basically at 5%, man. So gonna you, but it's still a pretty like, you know. So you loan the U.S. government 100K, right? You will make about $5,000 a year, you know, from that. And if you want to see what you'll make in monthly payments by loaning the U.S. government 100K, so $5,000 a year divided by 12, you're gonna make about $416 a month if you loan the U.S. government 100K. Right, so like that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna make about $416 a month. Again, this is why. Again, I'll go back to this. This is why you never take the freaking monthly payments if you win the lottery. Okay, you never make the monthly payments. You never take the monthly payments. You always take the lump sum, even if you're losing half of the value. You always take the lump sum. Why? Because you can buy bonds with it and make probably what they're gonna pay you in monthly payments. Say you win $5 million, right? Or you say you take home $5 million. Say you win $10 million, you got to pay taxes on whatever. You make $5 million, right? That per year, just in interest payments, is going to be $250,000 a year. Just in interest payments, right? Just in interest payments, you're going to make $250K a year if you loan the government $5 million, right? In bonds, you know, you divide that by 12, you're going to make $20K a month. You know, so again, the lottery hopes you take the monthly payments because they're just going to buy bonds with it, and you know you're going to get destroyed on interest. Anything on futures? Yeah, well, I mean, the market is so far. Here's the SPY, E-mini. SPY going green on the day, so E-mini technically green, SPY technically green right now. We're over 430. Tesla still trying to hit 226s, guys. We got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. Any guess if SoFi? SoFi has earnings next week, so you might get some movement there. Netflix is the edge. SPY is literally hanging on to one hand right now. Maybe. I mean, Netflix is just up big because they've been very profitable. Netflix still surging up too, man. Look at Netflix right now. And Netflix at 396 is basically all. Will it hit $400? I'm in Netflix right now too, so it's kind of saving my portfolio. It's not saving it. I mean, I'm green on it for sure. But we'll see if Jobless claims helps the market. How can we help people who's losing money? Very vague question. Very vague question. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific there, brother. All right, guys. Hey, we got 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Got about 600 people here. So again, slap the like button if you haven't already. Team, hit the notification bell. We do have Powell speaking later on this evening too. All right, guys. So again, we're sitting tight, waiting. Tomorrow or next week we got a gang. of economic reports coming out. A gang of economic reports dropping tomorrow. So tomorrow will be fun. All right, so we're at 395s. We might get ready to trade some futures too. 7 minutes. Powell's not at 10 a.m. It's 12. So yeah, Powell speaks at noon. All right, Netflix, the big rise of the day. Tesla still trying. So higher jobless claims means more people filing for unemployment. I would say right now with an inflation-fearing market, the market might want higher jobless claims. Now, it's never super easy to predict, but I would guess right now the market wants higher than expected jobless claims. But again, it's just a guess. We really don't know what the market's going to do, and it's not super predictable in terms of reactions here. Jobless claims, the reaction we get from it varies so much. We don't really know, to be honest. Like we don't really know whether we're going to get good or bad data here. Again, we got 6 minutes, guys. 6 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. Zions Bank is a good buy. Yeah, I don't buy regional banks. So again, I don't buy regional banks. Yeah, so again, Powell speaks today. This timer's a little bit early, but that's all good. All right, so again, it's going to start at noon. Yeah, economy's kind of sending mixed signals right now. Employment growth soared in September. Retail sales went up. Housing starts went up. This all could signal more inflation work needed to combat it. So maybe potential more rate hikes the next couple cycles this year. We got 2 more rate hikes this year. So do we have 2? Yeah, we have 2 more rate hikes this year. So we got November 1st, which is in about a week and a half. And then we've got late December meeting. So 2 more rate hikes, or 2 more, not rate hikes, 2 more Fed meetings this year. Sorry, not rate hikes, 2 more Fed meetings. All right, so again, it's going to be a busy day. Investors are going to be waiting for what Powell says. AT&T earnings are out already. All right, guys. So again, we're pulling back a little bit under Tesla here. Netflix still at 395s. We still have 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left, team. We got about 700 people here. So again, slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. 2 rate hikes. It's a leak. Guys, it's a leak. Yeah. Hey. All right, guys. Whew. Let's prepare here for jobless claims numbers coming out today. Again, the expectations are for 212,000. Philly Fed index expected at minus 6.4. Higher jobless claims means less people working, right? Because jobless claims are how many people are filing for unemployment. So higher jobless claims signals less working, right? Like that's the thing to understand. Higher jobless claims, less people working. Lower jobless claims, more people working. More people working could mean worse inflation problems. So I think with inflation fears, with higher retail sales, higher job numbers last month, I think the market might want lower spending, less spending, of course. And I think that means that the market might react positively to more jobless claims numbers, i.e., less people working. Again, that's my guess here. Let me know what you guys think the market's going to do. But that's my guess. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index is just a gauge on manufacturing. So higher number means more strength in manufacturing. Lower number means lesser strength in manufacturing. And again, the expectation for that is minus 6.4, minus 6.4. So yeah, we'll see if we get anything good. Also, I'm going to throw this thing in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already subscribed, listen, we put out free content regularly here. We don't charge for any of our content. Everything we drop is free, completely free. So if you want to support movements like this in the market, slap the subscribe button, team. You know you want to. Of course I drink coffee, dude. All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half left. Be ready. Here we go. Everybody announce yourself. Show us that you're subscribed to the channel. Everybody announce yourself. Say, hey, I'm a supporter. You know. Yeah, maybe we'll get a Santa run. I'm not sure. A Santa rally is what they call it. Amazon going dumb. Is it really? Yeah, Amazon's up a lot, giving back a lot of the losses it made. So running back up to almost 130. Looks good. Hey, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Spawn, Gordon, Moon, Garab, Ramsey, Jonathan, Was, Chill, D. All right, guys. Hey, we got 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream here, team. You want to make sure, again, you want to make sure your live button looks like this, team. You want to make sure your live button's red, so you want to make sure you slap this live button right here. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Numbers are about to release right now. Again, numbers are about to drop right now. 20 seconds. Again, jobless claims, Philly Fed Index, 20 seconds. Here we go. 5 seconds. All right, here we go. All right, jobless claims numbers came in at 198K, much lower than expected. I think the market's probably going to react negatively to this. Lower than expected at 198K. The Philly Fed Index data is not out, but much lower than expected. -9 for the Philly Fed Index, guys. -9 for the Philly Fed Index. Here's the SPY on chart. And again, it is reacting negatively to this. I didn't even have to look at it. Jobless claims coming in lower than expected means more people working, more people spending, and more spending is seen as negative right now short term. And so you can see we got this negative reaction here. We had 430. Roughly, again, jobless claims 198,000 versus 212,000 expected. The Philly Fed Index came in at -9 versus, so weaker manufacturing data for sure, like weaker manufacturing stuff here. But again, the jobless claims numbers might scare people. Jobless claims coming in 198K versus 212 expected. So that means more people working, more people spending, although the market is retracing back up a little bit here. So look, but again, I think the market might want weakness in manufacturing, if that makes sense, right? Because less manufacturing signals less spending. You know, maybe better for inflation. Here's the numbers right here on screen. Again, Tesla bouncing up a little bit, and the market didn't really react super negatively here either. So we're at 430s, but yeah, I mean, the market's not that predictable. You know what I mean? Like an example of this, look at the market rip here. So, hey, maybe I think the market's just down so much already. And look, there's Tesla rising as well here. So I think the market's just down so much already. We're just finally starting to creep back up is what it looks like to me. Again, Tesla back at 228s. 228s for Tesla here. How about my Astros yesterday, guys? All right, so again, Market popped up a little bit. Tesla, but I think the market's just extended on the downside. Netflix did hit 397s here. Did hit 397s. So it is trying to move. Yeah, so we'll let the dust settle a little bit. Also, guys, if you haven't checked out my sponsor, we're going to day trade at the opening bell today. We're going to day trade a little bit in pre-market too. The way I day trade is in a funded account program called Top Step. And so what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50 to 150K, as long as you can follow their rules. And again, the futures market, you can day trade the S&P. I can basically day trade the SPY and what's called the E-mini. It's the same price action, different price, but the same price action. I can day trade currencies. I can day trade gold, silver. Patterns are very similar to large cap stocks and Tesla. Look, you can see run up on Tesla, run up on the SPY. Here's the E-mini just to show you how it's the same price action here. So again, here's the E-mini. So we see that U shape, and then when we zoom out, look, here's the same U shape. And so I can trade this left side here in the futures market, no PDT rule, or on Top Step. And again, the patterns are basically the same as the SPY, but there's no PDT rule. I can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks. Like, look, I can buy market, sell market, all that good stuff, just like stocks, but there's no PDT rule. And Top Step funds traders. So they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can hit the target, without hitting the max loss, they fund you. It's really the best of both worlds and a great way to learn with less risk. Most day traders lose. I lost thousands when I first got started day trading, and most people will as well, right? So you can either lose money on Top Step, still have the same amount of pressure, still learn how to trade, free funding coaches, tons of great resources, and it's $49. And so if you lose, you're only out $49. But if you're good enough to pass it, you get a 90% split. You get 50K in funding up to 150K with a 90% split. They've been around for over a decade, and they pay out millions every year, fund thousands of traders a year. They're the most legit futures prop firm in the world, in my opinion, although they are sponsored. I'm incredibly biased in their favor because they pay me money. You can check out the link right there. Great way to help support the channel. Again, market's moving up a little bit from this report, though, which is really interesting. You can see the E-mini futures, and again, you can see the SPY futures right here. Interesting as well. Let's watch Tesla, though. Tesla on its comeback here. And again, we did buy the dip down at 224s, 225s. And so our Tesla trade's looking better. And again, we're up over 200 in equities on the day as well. So like we're still looking at stocks currently, but again, we are up about 220 actually on the day right now, mostly from Netflix. Netflix is churning up here to $400. Like, look at Netflix right now. Netflix at almost 400. It's at 397s. These numbers in report means nothing in the overall scheme as the market likes to play our confidence and bias. I mean, they mean something, but yeah, you focus more on initial claims because continuing claims are not as relevant, Anybody that's hating on the Astros is just mad that their team probably lost, If you find yourself hating on the winningest team in baseball over the last decade, you're probably just mad. Data good or bad? I'd say it's mixed. Manufacturing weakness, although, more jobless claim or lesser jobless claims signals more economic strength and more people working. I don't necessarily think that's good for inflation, though. Oh, yeah, the Cybertruck's not out yet. Again, Netflix is incredibly strong, too. Oh, wait, so trade, let me get this right. So you're saying software companies like Google, Apple, and Meta have better margins than an automobile company? What a shocker. Come on, bro. Of course they do. They're freaking software companies, man. Like, you're trying to tell me software companies have better margins than companies that sell cars? Crazy. Cheaters never win. I mean, look, people can cry, but like their team cheats too. Like, it's funny because it's like people are just mad their team lost is most likely what it is. Like, baseball is a game that romanticizes cheating, right? You got corked bats, pine tar, like everybody laughs and say, oh, it's good. Like, baseball is a game that players try to find an edge in whatever way they can, right? And so y'all are going to get mad at the Astros for doing it 6 years ago, for finding an edge and winning. Again, the Astros were not the only team doing it. People are just mad at the Astros because they want somebody to hate. And listen, that's fine. because again, you're only making the Astros back larger, more popular. It's the Conor McGregor effect. Anyways, Netflix at 398. No, depends on what you classify as cheating. When the Astros did it, there was technically no rule against it, and so if there's no rule against it, I mean, hey, I'm not judging. You know what I mean? Again, people are just mad their team lost. That's really all it really is. It's like people are just mad their team lost. All right, guys. So, look at the SPY rip at 431s. Netflix still rising here too, man. Wow, dude. Again, Netflix about to hit 400. It's very close. Netflix $1.50 away from $400. And look at this rise forward here, man. Crazy big run up. Netflix helping the market right now, dragging the market up. I dealt with the Patriots hate in their reign. Yeah, I mean, most of the Astros team, that was there when that scandal happened aren't even there anymore. So like anybody hating on the Astros team today based off of something that happened 6 years ago when a large majority of the team isn't even there anymore, they're just emotional. They're just mad their team lost back then and they can't get out of their heads about it, And so it's all good, but like, them saying they'll always be a cheater is like the most ridiculous statement ever. And again, they're just mad. That's all it really is. I've been thinking about opening up a pawn shop. I should ask Pawn about this. But my guess is like location is everything. But then I'd also have to open it up at like a sketchy like area, right? Yeah, but looking at other stuff again, the market's loving this right now. Netflix finally starting to pull back some though. Finally starting to dip. Again, let's see what Tesla's doing here. Tesla's been on a rise. We're at 227s right now. We're right at the volume weighted average price. So again, we'll see if we hold. Netflix finally got a dip. Not before the market has just been surging up too. Look at the SPY rip. They could easily revise the jobless numbers in the next report. Were Tesla earnings that bad? I mean, they weren't good, that's for sure. Again, Elon's problem, right? Tesla was actually reacting. Let me put this into perspective. Okay, despite the miss on EPS and revenue, right? Despite the miss in the conventional earnings metrics yesterday for Tesla, right? The problem is that Tesla was actually green prior to the conference call. Tesla was up prior to the conference call. It was technically green prior to the conference call. The problem is that Elon, yeah, and the reason it was up is because everybody was optimistic regarding the Cybertruck, right? Everybody was optimistic saying the Cybertruck, woohoo, it's the Cybertruck, right? Everybody's optimistic, happy, pumped up because it's the Cybertruck, all that good stuff. Elon, in his first 2 sentences, says, hey guys, the margins of the Cybertruck don't look good. and it's going to be years before we really start to turn a penny from it. Basically, first 2 sentences of the conference call. It's like, bro, I respect the honesty, but throw that in at the very end of the conference call, bro. Don't let that be the first 2 sentences that you make, dude. Like, say, hey, the Cybertruck's going to be here. We got November 30th deadline. And then throw that stuff in at the very end of it, brother. Like, don't put that stuff out right at the beginning. You know, there's a better way to do it. You know, and I respect the honesty, but there's a better way to do it for your stock price, bro. Again, I don't think Elon cares about the stock price right now. I really don't think he cares at all about the fluctuations in price. I think they're relatively insignificant to him. And then since he said that, the whole market just dumped, right? Tesla dumped. Not the whole market. Netflix, again, saved the market. Netflix had a huge rip up, almost to $400 right now. But yeah. Yeah, for sure. He could have just he could have designed that better, you know. He could have designed it better, man. You know, there's a better way to do it than what he did. So Apple's 129 Thunderbolt cable. What does the Thunderbolt cable do, though? Oh, never mind. I see what it is. I've just never heard it referred to as a Thunderbolt cable. Yeah, so Elon very much against the work from home mentality. I don't know, man. I don't know if he like commercial real estate's a struggle right now. Like commercial real estate's a struggle, and I think it's going to continue to be a struggle. That's going to ultimately like trickle into everything real estate. All right, so again, Meta announced they're bringing broadcast channels to Facebook and Messenger. Yeah, so it's Tesla holding volume weighted average price. Let's try to hold there. Hey, let's see if it does. Yeah, so Tesla bounced it up again. Watch Netflix too. Netflix is another one to Netflix up to 398.70s. It's at 398.25. It's making another test towards it. All right, team. All right, team. Yes, I'm reading some scary things. All right, so again, SPY still bouncing up over 430, still at 431s. Tesla right at the 200 EMA level on a 1 minute chart. So maybe this can hold, maybe it doesn't. We're going to end this poll right here. And now we're going to ask the next question regarding Powell here, which is, Powell's comments be bullish or bearish? Or should I say dovish or hawkish? All right, well, Powell's comments. Well, Powell's comments move the market up or down? It's a better question. Up, down. I don't know. All right, so will Powell's comments move the markets up or down? Let me know. Tesla going to rip after market open? Maybe. I hope so. It's down a lot. You know, it's up to over 228s now, still rising. Netflix just broke highs again. It's at 199 or 399s here for Netflix. So Netflix still on the rise. Still rising up at 400. 399 now. Vote on the poll. Also, guys, if you haven't seen this, number one, check out TopStep. TopStep funded program for futures. You can day trade short. We're going to get ready to day trade, you know, using it. And again, we're going to put this up and start to prepare to day trade here with it. And so again, I'm going to show you, we're going to take a couple trades real quick. Let's see what we can get. And so again, number one is that you can see this is very similar to trading stocks, right? Very similar to day trading stocks. This is a quant tower. So we're probably going to buy this little dip and see if we can catch a bounce. We need the reason I might buy this dip is because Tesla is up. All right, so again, you can kind of see we're down. Job is to build up a cushion first because like my risk system is very clear. I want to build up a cushion first. So we'll take 2 contracts here. And we're pretty flat. So again, our job is to build up a cushion first. So if we can take 1 or 2 contracts of the E-mini, if we can build up a cushion of a couple $100, that's great. We're flat on the trade, flat on the trade. But yeah, if we can build up a cushion of a couple $100, that's great. And then we can get the green light to take larger size from there. But again, you can kind of see it's very similar to day trading stocks. You can buy market, sell market. All right, so there we go. Very close to cutting a piece of this off. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and lock some profit in there. All right, so we just locked a little bit in. You see, it's very similar to day trading stocks. You see on the rest, we're up about $40. $50 up right now, so we're up 50. I'm going to give this one a little bit more time, hoping Tesla can keep the run up. It's all going to be relative to Netflix as well. But again, you can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule. So I can day trade the SPY basically at what's called the E-mini. I can day trade the NASDAQ at what's called the NQ. I can day trade currencies, gold, silver, no PDT rule. So I'm probably going to cut this and get out pretty flat on the trade. We're right at that double bottom level. And again, the only problem I see right now is Netflix pulling back some. Netflix got almost up to $400. And so we're very close to cutting it. We'll let it test, but we're very close. Very close. See if we can retrace up a little bit. And if not, it's all good. Like I said, it's small right now. Luckily, we took a piece of this off already. And again, if you want to day trade on TopStep with me, again, it's the great way to learn. Just taking the challenge builds your skill. Even if you don't pass it, just taking it builds your skill. It's $49. Here's the link. All right, so a couple good things and a couple bad things. Number one, we're taking a while, and so I'm still in it because we haven't hit our risk level yet. We're pretty much flat on this trade because we're only down 25 bucks on the remainder. I see Tesla starting to rise up, and this is influencing this trade. All right, so there we go. And then I see Netflix start to bounce up as well. It's at 398, 398 for Netflix. All right, so again, we're slightly green on the trade now. Here we go. Up 60. Up 60, 75. All right, we're just going to lock that in. So there you go. Nice little trade there. You can see very similar to day trading stocks. Again, I told you guys I watch Tesla. I watch Netflix a lot. I watch like the largest moving stocks to influence my day trades. So again, we're testing the top of that range. Look at Netflix. No, Netflix almost to 400. We're at 399.30s, 399.40s. All right, so we're testing highs. All right, so again, we're testing the highs again. Netflix at 399.50s. Tesla pulling back a little bit. All right, so again, we got a little pullback. Netflix still surging up, so about to hit 400. So Netflix just ripped over 400, got almost up to 401 right now, almost to 401. All right, so we got a little pullback again. Netflix at 400 right now. 400. All right, team. So yeah, so we're looking at this. Yeah, so Powell speaking today should be fun, man. Look at Netflix, guys. Netflix over 4. I'm in Netflix right now too. And again, it's helping me be very green on the day. Tesla's still pushing, surging up though, but Microsoft good, MGM better. Walgreens good. See if Netflix continues to rise. Tight labor market. He's not saying anything new for sure. He's definitely going to say something relevant to markets, though. Yeah, but there's no way they're going to do that. It's bad because that's an illegal streaming site. And so there's no way they're ever going to let anybody like legitimately do that, you know? You know what I mean? Like they're never going to let anybody legitimately do it. Like the reason they do so well is because it's illegal. If that makes sense, right? All right, so again, we got Powell live. Hey, what's up, Ethan? What's up, Khalifa? What's up? It's bad. What is Powell giving the speech? It's at noon today. So Powell speaking at noon. And again, we're going to cover it like we always do. Yeah, so we're going to see what Powell says. Again, we're going to cover it live. So again, Powell's speech is at noon. Looking at Twitter here. Yeah, dude, they got this kid that's just being a total jerk to my daughter, bro. Just saying terrible stuff, dude. Like, what a toxic little crap, dude. Honestly, my daughter's probably not. I'm not gonna say what he said, but what he said was crazy. You know, he's just mad she doesn't like him. But like, dude, these little 14-year-olds, bro. All right, team, we got 25 minutes left. Yeah, this poker player stopped to open up collectible cards and with his time. With no millennial Zoomers. So Vance Spencer says, quote, when no millennials or Zoomers can afford a house and a job. Who are Zoomers, bro? Like, am I just behind the times with this? Netflix finally starting to dip down. The E-mini pulling back a little bit too. Part of me wants to buy the dip. Generation Z. I should have known it was Generation Z. Yeah, Generation Z is basically the newest generation. It's like my daughter's generation. You know, we're millennials. Generation Z is the next one. Some of y'all's parents might be, or some of y'all might be Generation X. Yeah. No kid is born to be mean. They just become into it. Yeah, I mean, again, like, look at Netflix still rip up here, guys. So Netflix up to 401s, almost 402s, right? So Netflix almost up to 401s, 402s. Trying to push up over 400s right now. So they're over fours. I should have maybe bought the dip because look at Netflix surge here. 401s, just tapped 401.65 for Netflix. Tesla's still falling back down. Yeah, I mean, the thing to understand here, though, like, okay, so, all right. You know, my kids go to like a really nice, like I'm trying to think of like snooty school is for the the best way I can describe it. Like my kids go to like a really snooty school. Best way I can describe it. To where like most of the parents in both their grades, right? My daughter's in high school. My son is in my son's in elementary school. But like most of the parents there are way older than I am. Like they're well into their 40s or 50s. Where my wife and I in our early 30s, you know, we kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Like we stick out a lot because we're young. We're very young relative to like everybody else there, you know. And so I think we get a lot of judgment from that. But it's like in my mind, it's like, bro, my kids go to the same school you go to. Like you can't judge me, you know. Like most of the time they're just mad we're younger. Is realistically what it is. But I digress. Back to the point here, which is that like my kid's school is kind of snooty. And what you notice very, very often here is like these really wealthy kids, bro. Like their parents just don't pay attention to them, dude. Like their parents are off at their ranch and off at their yacht, and they're off partying and drinking and like doing all this stuff, right? Their parents are just not paying attention to their kids, dude. You know, they're letting them use social media at like 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, you know, and then they wonder why they've got all these problems. And so, you know, I think a lot of these kids there specifically just struggle. You know, I think they just struggle. I think their parents just aren't paying attention. Yeah, for sure, Tiny, 100%. Why do they call them Zoomers? Probably because it's Generation Z. But yeah, looking at the original post I was talking about, a lot of people, yeah, the real estate market's the biggest thing in shambles right now. Right, like the real estate market is the one that's really struggling. Another interesting thing that this person posted is that the PE ratio of the S&P 7, so the Magnificent 7, has in 2023 gone from 29 to close to 45. So like the Magnificent 7, the top 7 in the S&P, which is I believe it's Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Tesla, and Nvidia, I believe. Did I miss one? I might have missed one. But I think those are the big ones. And again, they have high PE ratios for sure. Although I think Amazon's next earnings report will fix the PE ratio. You know, Amazon had one really bad quarter. I think they lost like billions from specifically Rivian is what I think it was. So like Amazon had one bad quarter, and so I think Amazon's PE ratio is going to go back down after this next earnings report. Because if we look at Amazon earnings here specifically, right? So if we look at Amazon EPS graph, you see Amazon had this really bad EPS reading here. Amazon had this really bad EPS reading here, where they came in at minus 27 cents. Quarterly, they had this really bad. So, you know, PE ratio, trailing 12-month PE ratio is looking at the last 4 quarters, right? So Amazon had this really bad 3-cent profit quarter in December of 2022. But the rest of the ones weren't too bad. And so I think after that one gets phased out, it might take 2 quarters actually. So it might not be this quarter, but next one. Amazon, with that said, is ripping up too. It's helping drag the market up right now. Netflix still trying to hold over $400. Yeah, being a parent is hard, dude, for sure. I'm not judging too much, but I think you just gotta kids gotta have discipline, man. Like you gotta restrict your kids from social media. You gotta, you know, the problem is social media can severely negatively affect kids when they're young. And so if you let a kid use social media from a super early age, there could be problems from it. All right, team. Big Papa Powell today. Coming out soon. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, so we still got some time. Tesla is definitely down over the last couple days for sure. We'll see where it holds though. Amazon's very strong right now, and again, Netflix has been the really strong one. It's kind of been propping up the market. Sitting at $400, big gains. All right, team. Yeah, so the question is, will the Cybertruck be a success regarding Tesla? Like, will the Cybertruck be a success? Netflix bounced it up. It's at 400.6. We can look at some of these polls too. And look at Amazon finally start to dip. We got this nice little trend here. Will Powell's comments move the market up or down? 45% say down, 41% say up, 14% say I don't know. Are kids just us reborn, or are they entirely different creatures? That's a super deep question, bro. So Moon, I'm trading futures. By buying contracts, I'm trading futures, right? And again, I'm not trying to just shill this, like plug whatever, but again, when I buy a contract, I'm buying futures. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this dip. Again, we're trading with the regular E-mini. This is the futures contract. So this is not options. This is futures, right? So the futures market was originally created for farmers who were like, they would grow crops and then the prices would fluctuate so much by the time they yielded those crops that it wasn't really profitable for them in the way that they wanted. And so what they started doing was locking in contracts at the price of their crops before they yielded them. And they caught them. We went ahead and took that profit. So again, we're up about 50, 60 bucks today. Again, scalping it. So I'm day trading futures, right? But anyways, they called them futures, locking in the price of their crops to speculative investors. They called them futures. Eventually, futures grew and evolved to what we have now, where I can day trade the S&P 500 futures contract, and there's no PDT rule, right? Like that's the huge benefit of futures. No PDT rule. I can day trade the S&P futures, no restrictions, no PDT rule. And again, what I'm using is a platform called Top Step, which allows me to get in with even less money. I can base compound is 49 bucks. I've been funded on multiple accounts. And again, the system I use is very simple. I talk about this all the time. I'm probably a broken record with this, but I build up a cushion first, right? So I try to build up a cushion of anywhere between $1 to $200 with the regular E-mini, basically trading the S&P 500. If I want to pivot to the NASDAQ, which is basically the Q, right? A little bit more volatile than the S&P. I can, once I build up a cushion. And then if I build up another cushion, then I can take larger swings and larger swings. And so that enables me to where when I lose, I can lose small. If I lose 200 bucks, I walk away or I switch accounts or do whatever I want to do. And I can have more than one account here as well. But if I'm up, I can take larger risks, right? So that enables me to have big winning days and small losing days a lot of the time. And it's the easiest way to get funded because again, these funded account programs, they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you. As long as you can follow their rules and pass their testing, and just taking the challenge, build your skill. But again, using a risk management system like I just explained makes perfect sense because again, it allows you to take small risk. If you're good enough to pass it, you get a 90% split anyway. So it's very similar to putting the money up yourself with just noticeably less risk, right? And if you use risk management systems like I'm showing you, it can be powerful. Look at Netflix, right? So the reason we made money on that trade is Netflix ripped all the way up to 403s. Right now, guys, 403s for Netflix, surge it up. Watch Tesla too. We'll see what Tesla does here as well. Yeah, so again, we're still rising up here nicely too. Still in Netflix. Other stuff starting to move up in sympathy with it though, specifically Apple. Glad I thought about selling my position in Netflix, but I just kind of stayed on to it. And again, you can kind of see Apple. Apple up to 176.30 now, slightly green on the day. Again, here's Netflix at 402s, 403s. Yeah, so we'll see if crypto returns to the bull market. All right, so the SEC's chairman, Gary G., says that they are currently reviewing all the applications for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Yeah, so again, the trouble overseas has made oil look, and Netflix just broke highs again. Again, now at 404s here. Tesla's still coming back down some. But yeah, the trouble overseas has sparked oil prices. Again, if you look at Exxon, has been rising basically since the war started. Not the war, but I don't know. So there's this guy on Twitter, and he goes up to women and at college, and he goes up to him and he says, "Will you?" Let me see what he says. He says, "Will you join the fight?" He tries to get him to sign their name. He says, "Will you join the fight to end women's suffrage?" And like a lot of people don't understand the difference between suffering and suffrage. Again, to put it into perspective, right? Suffrage, when you look at the actual definition of it, it's a simple. The franchise it's the right to vote in public political elections and referendums. Yeah, but it's wildly used as the right to vote, right? But again, and it's slippery because I remember when I was young, I didn't know the definition. I didn't know the difference between suffrage and suffering, right? But they're not opposites. They're not antonyms, but it's funny because they're similar, but people don't know them. And again, I can't really judge anybody either because I think it's very tricky, but it's funny because some of them are like, "Oh yeah, I'm signing this," and so I can't help but laugh at it. Like I said, Twitter's funny sometimes, man. First thing I'm gonna do when my daughter comes home is I'm gonna teach her what the difference is. All right, so Roblox is telling employees they have to come to the office 3 days a week or take severance packages, according to CNBC. Dang, dude. All right, so again, market's still down a little bit over the last 10 minutes, but man, MMA judging needs an overhaul. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I've never seen the skip before, but it's funny. Option prices were too high to get into Netflix before earnings. Yeah, I mean, you got to get in at like a couple weeks before earnings. You can't get in at earnings day. That's what I learned from my Roblox trade. My Roblox trade, you realize very quickly that like, if you try to buy it after big drops or big dips, that's why shares are always better in that regard. Where like I'd rather just buy shares, dude. We got a small cushion on the day now. We'd like a little bit more. I'm going to pivot to the regular E-mini because, again, I can't really get behind trading the NASDAQ super early after the opening bell. The volatility is just going to be a little bit too high. So I'll have to wait and sit back, I think. All right, guys. So Netflix down to 402s, E-mini at 4400s, 4300s. Some of these have to, let's figure this out. All right, so there's a nice little pullback. Honestly, I know we got 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and buy this dip. It's a little risky, but we got a cushion on the day ahead of the opening bell. I don't really want to take trades super early, and I like the pullbacks large enough for me to maybe take 1 or 2 contracts here and catch a bounce. If Netflix bounces at 402s, then we should be pretty good. But if not, we can get out pretty flat on the day. And it might be time to cut it. Again, the trade is hoping that Netflix bounces at 402s. We also have to look at Nvidia here. Nvidia doing really well at 430s right now. All right, so we're flat on the trade currently here, flat. I'd like to see a little bit more of a bounce. There we go. Take half off there, lock it in, protect us. Try to let the rest work. So there's Netflix. Didn't hold at 402s, but it is pulling back to 400 now, which I think is probably going to be a psychological level. We got about 5 minutes left, and so I want to manage it before the open. I definitely don't want to sit in this for the open. I did take some profit already, so we still should be okay. But again, if we get out flat on the day, I'm all good with that right now too. Because again, Netflix is going to be such a big influence right now, and if Netflix starts to give back some of the gains it's made, which is starting to, I'm going to go ahead and cut it and get out pretty close. I'm probably down a little bit on that trade. But again, I don't trust Netflix right here. You know, if Netflix starts to give back the gains, then we're kind of in trouble, right? And I don't really want to. I don't really want to risk that. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. All right, making sure I got this up. All right, so there's the E-mini. Three and a half minutes. Netflix did pop though. Couple minutes left into the opening bell, team. Netflix trying to get back over 402s. All right, so we're pulling back down. Tsla still down, but look at Netflix rise here. We got a minute and a half left, team, and look at Netflix rip. Netflix at 406. All right, so we got another little pullback here ahead of the opening bell. See, the NASDAQ moves enough to catch momentum. So, like, if you're trying to trade ranges, E-mini, if you're trying to trade, like, breakouts, I think the NASDAQ is probably the better move. Because, again, like, we're trading on one of our other Combine accounts right here. And so you can kind of see, like, I'm in the NASDAQ here trying to trade momentum. 145. Nice little rip. We're going to go ahead and lock that in. And so this is one of our Combine accounts. On the other side that we're looking at. All right, here's the opening bell, though, guys. We got 20 seconds. What would cause the bond rates to drop down? Market strength. The market going up is going to cause bonds to go down, yields to go down, because short term they're inversely correlated. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. All right, so Netflix giving back a lot of these gains at the opening bell here. A lot of these gains are given back at the open. Tesla holding at 225, and look at the E-mini rip back up here, although Netflix is falling down. I'm trying to see what's dragging the market up right now. It could be Apple. Yeah, Apple up on the day, holding at the previous close, rip it up a little bit. Again, Netflix is interestingly down on the day, which is strange. I'm not strange. It's strange that the market's ripping up with Netflix being such an influence, being down, but other stuff's ripping up, specifically Apple, which is the most heavily weighted stock in the market. Nvidia started to drop as well, though. So I don't know if we're going to hold these. I'm going to short this. Maybe a little risky. We're going to take one contract, but I'm going to short this because I see a lot of stuff dropping down in blue chips. And I think we might start to correct and contract back down, but maybe not. No, don't do that. All right, so we're flat on the trade. There we go. Just going to lock that in. We were right about the pullback, although I do see some other stuff start to move, but Nvidia dumping down to 425s. Again, Apple starting to rise. Again, Nvidia looks very weak right now, though, like really weak. I'm going to short again and then maybe add some to it since we have a cushion on the day now. So we're going to add a little bit more here, 2 contracts. Yeah, I'm going to have to flush this one out pretty quickly too. Luckily, we had a cushion on the day prior to this one, but yeah, we're going to have to cut it. It's weird, man. Like, again, Netflix, a lot of other stuff just tanking down, just dropping fast. But a lot of them rebounding back fast now too. So maybe the market's down so much, shorting wasn't the right move. Yeah, we might have to pivot to like a all right, so we're scalping a little bit of the NASDAQ here too. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. So now we're up about $80 on the day or so. So we ended up coming back from that last trade on the NASDAQ. Maybe took a little bit unnecessary risk there, but again, we're up about 80 on the day so far. A little bit of a cushion here. Watching Tesla closely. You know, if Netflix starts to reject VWAP 200 EMA and other stuff starts to turn, that might be time to short. But Again, Nvidia is looking weak. Nvidia is the one that scared me, that had me a little bit more short biased at the open. Market's very volatile right now, though. We just got a lot of up and down action here, team. So just be careful. Market is just going back and forth, back and forth. All right, luckily I'm in a beautiful short here on the NASDAQ just to show it to you guys here. Look at this. So we're up 500. We just locked in about 300 profit of that. We'll go ahead and lock in the rest because we got a huge cushion now. Shorting the NASDAQ. NASDAQ better for momentum, which is what I've been targeting today. And you can kind of see now today we are up about 6. 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. I'm gonna show you guys the NASDAQ now since that's what I've been trading a little bit more. Oh, I wanted to short into that little baby pop too. Let me make sure it's not. Okay. I wanted to short into that little baby pop too, but I didn't have time. I'm going to take one contract. I'm not going to take more than one, I think here. Just one. Boom. All right, so we just made another 200 or so. It looks like we should have. Yeah, or we didn't quite make that much. We made 7. Or we're up 7 on the day now. 720 to be specific here. Again, building up that cushion and then taking larger risks once we have it. Got really lucky on that momentum trade, though. So again, we're up 7 on the day now. There's more breakdowns of the NASDAQ here. It's interesting, though. Like, I'm wondering what's dragging this down. It's specifically Nvidia, I'm pretty sure. Right? Because, like, my equities portfolio is actually up pretty heavy here. And so Microsoft is green. You know, Honeywell is green. My equities trades are pretty good. It's mostly Nvidia weighing the market down, it looks like right now. And then also Netflix is starting to surge back up too. Tesla's holding its gains for the most part as well, hit 230s. So we're pretty flat on our Tesla trade right now, but look at the big dump here. I wonder what's dragging this down. Apple. So Apple flushing down here, dragging the market down. That's what's causing this big dip here, is Apple. And again, I hope you guys can understand my risk management system that I'm using. Like, it's very simple. Like, my risk management system is very simple. I build up a cushion on the day, and then we take larger risks once we have that cushion. All right, so I'm kind of stopping trading right now. I'm short biased because Apple's flushing and Nvidia's flushing. Tesla's also looking weak, but we're a little bit too extended on the downside now for me to jump in this currently. Again, my equities portfolio, let me just show you. We're still up 195, basically $200 on equities today. Here's our P&L. Nvidia is really what's weighing the market down. Nvidia is dumping down. So earnings season next week is going to be incredibly important with all this bear action. Yeah, Powell at 12. We're going to stream it. I'm probably going to close down the morning stream a little bit early because I got to do a meeting with some devs. So I'll probably wait, or I'll probably close the morning stream down a little bit early, and then we'll start streaming up later on for Powell this evening or this morning. All right, so got a little pop. Let's see what else we get. I tend to do better trading the NASDAQ once I build up that cushion, though. I realize like my results in the NASDAQ tend to be much better than the E-mini when I do trade it. Netflix looks weak, so Tesla is the one kind of saving the market action right now. Yeah, we'll see what Powell says. Let's watch Apple too. Powell's talking about the economy. It's the Economic Club in New York meeting. We think he'll talk about the economy. We don't really know for sure, but we think he will. Yeah, and you can look at the E-mini here and see the E-mini is kind of underwhelming reaction. More breakdowns here too. Things are starting to look weak. NASDAQ's so volatile though, man. See, like I see Apple start to bounce up, and we're watching that pretty closely. At a certain point, we're down so much on the day that it's like, all right, well, are we going to keep dropping? And I really don't know. I see Apple starting to break over the volume weighted average price. Tesla popping up again. Again, I haven't really traded much. I'm just skeptical. Yeah, so I think I'll probably just we only need 80 subs to break 116,000 subs, guys. We only need 80 subs. Again, we're going to be back a little bit later for Powell. So I'll see you guys then. Again, if you want to try to day trade with me, again, if you're trying to day trade, don't go to penny stocks. Don't go to cash accounts. Like, it's going to be much more difficult. You're going to risk so much more money. The PDT rule is one of the most ridiculous rules because it basically tries to make new traders trade a first account with 25 grand in it. And no new trader has risk management. Learning to trade is all about limiting your risk in the beginning and learning how to trade under pressure. And Top Step gives you both those things. So check out the link in the description for that. Check out Chart Prime as well. Market's starting to rebound, but again, we'll see what Powell says. I'll be back pretty soon. We'll be back very soon. So I love you all. Y'all be safe. Slap the like button, hit the subscribe button, and good luck. I'm using the NQZ3 is the symbol I'm currently using. It's the most recent symbol. But hey, I love you all. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Again, we're going to start streaming in like a couple hours. So again, subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the notification bell. Appreciate the love. And yeah, we'll be back.